Hello everyone, my name is Trevor, I go by TheMrTrails, welcome to the channel. So Tempest, the new Omnicell, is weird. For every 1% move speed, your activation tap ability will deal an extra 5% damage. And that on its own made building with Tempest somewhat strange. And after playing around with Tempest for a good few hours, I'm like 99% convinced that there's just something wrong with the damage calculation for it. But that's not really what this video is about. What this video is about is that Tempest can do a lot of damage. How much damage, you may ask? Well, it can actually do so much damage that, under the right circumstances, you can actually one-shot some behemoths with it. And I'm not just talking about a lesser Embermane or something, these are a bit bigger behemoths with quite a decent amount of HP. Today I'm going to share with you guys the build that I used to do it, as well as what exactly you'll want to have happen to have the best chance at getting a one-shot with it. Consider leaving a like if you enjoy, and if you enjoy Dauntless and are not subscribed already, consider subscribing to the channel. I post Dauntless content here all the time. And I'll be over on Twitch a little while after this video gets up, and we'll be doing some rather quick trial carries with the new amazing repeater changes. And if you're thinking of buying the new Hunt Pass or making any other purchases through Dauntless or Epic Games, consider using my supporter creator code TheMrTrails. Make sure the A is before the I. First and foremost, let's go over the build that I used to get these one-shots. And it's pretty simple. We're just going to try and stack as much practical move speed as we can onto the build. There are 4 main cells that we are going to need, being Sprinter, Fleet-Footed, Swift, and Zeal. Sprinter is a base move speed increase, Fleet-Footed gives move speed after a dodge, Swift gives us move speed when our weapon is sheathed, and Zeal will be able to give us extra move speed when we use the Shrike Lantern. Unfortunately, the Grace cell does not work with Tempest as the move speed gain is removed the moment you stopped sprinting, so it doesn't carry through with the attack. So all we need are these 4 perks maxed out, and the rest of the build really doesn't matter too much, but we're going to be able to throw a couple of damage bonuses in the way I've built it. Let me start off by saying this build is not specific to any weapon. Literally every weapon is capable of running this build. The only requirement from the weapon is that you have to be able to fit a technique cell and a mobility cell inside of it. Things like strikers and chain blades can achieve that with several different weapons, but something like hammer is going to need a legendary weapon. Our best chance to one-shot something is going to happen in frost escalations, so whatever it is, being a blaze weapon would be recommended. But in the weapon, we'll throw a sprinter and a predator cell inside. We're using the Tempest Omni cell and the Shrike Lantern with Zeal inside. For the armor, we'll rock the Scrave helmet with Swift inside, the Scrave chest piece with Swift inside, the Scrave gloves with Sprinter inside, and the Drask boots with Zeal inside. So this will give us a perk summary of 6 fleet-footed, 6 sprinter, 6 swift, 6 zeal, 3 adrenaline, 3 etheric evasion, 3 predator, and 3 of whatever the weapon you're using has. But the build doesn't really tell the whole story though. See, I did take this build into some hunting grounds, but was hard-pressed to get it to deal a lot more than 1,000 damage, which is where I'd say there's something weird happening with the damage calculation. But in Escalation, it is a much different story. I already mentioned that Frost Escalation is going to be our best place for it, and that's due to a few things. In the skill tree, we have Zai's Maneuvers to give us 15% move speed, and we also have Cold Rush, where after killing a behemoth for the next 2 minutes, we'll gain 25% move speed. Another reason is that we can grab the Avatar of Destruction, which will give us crit chance and damage, and additional crit damage if we get the aspect of the warrior passive from the skill tree. And finally, Frost Escalation has a lot of amps that can help us out, in particular the Thunderous Mantle and the extra crit damage and move speed amps that come from the Avatar of Destruction. Alright, so the main steps in this is step 1, queue up for a 1 to 13 Frost Escalation. Step 2, kill the first behemoth. Step 3, hope that you get one of the epic amps from the boon of the Warden Scout. Step 4, kill the next 2 behemoths. Step 5, hope that the amps bugged out and you get the boon of the Warden Scout amps again and you have the other epic amp. And step 6 is profit. Remember that you'll need to sheath your weapon each time you go to use the Tempest ability to get the bonus from Swift. You don't necessarily even need all of this to happen for 1 to 13, but if you want to deal the most damage possible, say in 10 to 50s, you'll need this to happen. In 1 to 13, after about level 7 or level 8, you should be be able to one-shot the Behemoths in the later rounds if you get the right amps, and at higher levels than that, say around level 12 or so, you'll be able to one-shot pretty much everything on round 4, pretty much no matter what. In 10 to 50, you can still deal with the Behemoths rather quickly as well. I think in my best run against Urska, I was able to kill it in only 4 hits from Tempest. But I'll go ahead and show you some of the highlights of what this build can do, and I am going to shut up. I have been Trevor, I go by the TheMrTrails, and I will catch you guys next time.
Friend of the Scaldish.